Next up, I would like to call upon yet another leader in the field of education with more than 30 years of experience in the industry. He holds a master's degree in management, a PhD in international marketing strategy, and he was also a visiting faculty in Euromed, Marseille province, Cream, Sofia, Antipolis, and France. Please join me in welcoming Professor Prafulla Y Agnihotri, Director, IIM Sirmaur, Himachal Pradesh. A round of applause.
Thank you so much, Sudhirji. And in the beginning, let me just congratulate the organizers for holding this convention on a very relevant and very valid topic, which is need of the day. Rather, it was required long back. India was a global hub for education. That's what we have all heard. Nalanda, Takshashila, and so many things. So many scholars used to visit India and study. You may not understand if I say Ved, so let me say the wrong pronunciation that is more popular, Vedas. Okay. And even today, just for your information, I have some association with Germany. I used to work with some German companies before, and still some of them are my clients and keep visiting Germany. There are more and more Germans and German universities who are studying Sanskrit, okay, to study our Ved, especially Atharvaved and Ayurved, because they feel that there are so many diseases for which there is a cure for that. And whenever I go over there, and sometimes when I have dinner with them, that's the most nervous moment for me, because I cannot answer most of their questions. They think that being an Indian, I should be aware of them, and every Indian knows about it. They are fond. I teach in France, and once I met a lady. She and her husband had come to pick me up when they came to know that I'd come from India. And they took me there to their home for a dinner. I was feeling like running away, but I could not because I didn't have a vehicle and I had to depend on her husband to drop me back to my hotel. Because when the Indian dinner was being cooked, she took me to the mezzanine floor of their home and showed me her library. She had all the Indian philosophers. I could name only one or two of them and forget about reading their books and other things. And she was more well-read than me. She has started an Indian center in France, the south of France, where I used to teach, Marseille, okay, in the name of Tagore Cultural Center of India. She visits India. She has adopted 2 Indian students, orphan Indian students, and looks after their education. That was her affiliation to India and Indian philosophy. And her husband was telling me that his only fear is this lady would go to India and may not return at all because she was just loved to live over there. This is what India was at one point of time. During the time when Ved were written, they were propagated, they were practiced. And what happened thereafter? When was the time when we started looking towards the West for knowledge creation, or rather, not knowledge creation, but they would create the knowledge, we would simply acquire them and borrow them. We all know this is an era of intellectual property rights. Those who have the IPRs will rule the world. Where did we lose? But I'm glad that this new education policy, partially though, addresses this issue. And that is why I would like to congratulate you for organizing this event on a very contemporary theme. It's on innovation, skilling, and learning. Especially in education, there is a huge potential available for us to innovate. Basically because so far we have been following the traditional method. Look at management education, the field that I come from, MBA. It's such a popular degree. Everyone must have an MBA. Whether the person needs it or not, whether the person is suitable or not, his parents will force him. About 10 years ago, when I was at IIM Calcutta, we were interviewing a candidate for our next batch. And he was a brilliant student. During the group discussion, he had not opened his mouth at all. So we gave him some marks just for the sake of showing his face. We used to call it muh dikhai, okay? Show his face. And then we thought that he is a dumb guy and he is not going to be featured anywhere subsequently. And as the luck was to have it, some other panel had taken longer time, and therefore the same batch whom we had observed in group discussion came back to us. And we got a chance to interview him. During group discussion, we don't have the identities of an individual. We just know the numbers and we give them marks. But at the time of interview, we had all his resume and application form, so we could know everything. And when we went through it, I was shocked. He was from IIT Bombay, a topper, and continuously above 9.5. You know, a 9-pointer itself is a great thing, and he was consistently above 9.5. And my colleague said, Prafullo, you continue. In Bengal, my name becomes Prafullo. Prafullo, you continue. I'll just take a break and come back. Because it was sure that this guy is a dumb guy and he's not going to make it, based on his performance in group discussion. So I just started casually. So tell us something about yourself. And a person said, oh, what do I tell about myself? And he said that in such a tone, it was genuine tone, that my colleague who had already got up, sat down. And we conducted his interview, and then during the interview we realized that the person whom we were talking to was maybe the future Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam or Bill Gates, a person of that type, of that intelligence, that genius. Okay? And then we asked him, why do you want to do MBA? Why don't you pursue MTech or go to US, do your MS and come back, or do PhD thereafter in your chosen field? He says, that's what exactly I want to do. But then why are you doing this? Mind you, he had not gone to any class. He had not appeared for any coaching center. It was his first attempt for CAT. He just got up and went just because his parents insisted that he should do. And he had 99.5 percentile onwards. That's why he got a short list in the first attempt without preparation. The point is, why were the parents insisting on him doing MBA? What is so great about it? Would he be happy in his life? Or he would be better off and contributing to the social worth to an economy like India if he becomes a scientist? We don't think of it. So, the pedagogy, coming back to this topic, that's what actually I remembered it when I opened this topic. Okay. We have to also look at the pedagogy by which we teach. I always remember this example. When I have 60 students in my class, not all 60 would be the same. If you have studied psychology, you would know there is something called as learning style inventory. Each one of us who is sitting over here has his own learning style. And there is a famous saying in andragogy that an adult learns what he wants to learn, when he wants to learn, and the way he wants to learn. So he can't force feed anyone. Why have the same pedagogy which has been dictated to you by someone? Case studies are great, no doubt about it. But are they the only methods of education? Just because Harvard practiced it, practicing it for more than 100 years? Not necessarily. They also have their own defects. What else can you do? How can you bring in experiential learning? There are so many things which you can really understand. If you want to make a better human being, no amount of case study, no amount of assignments will do it. It has to be an experiential learning. If I want to understand the feelings of someone else, what that person is feeling at this moment, I should be able to learn to empathize with that person. And only then I will understand why that person is feeling what he is feeling and how he is feeling. So, experiential learning matters a lot in so many fields. Okay. Pedagogy. Today, management education believes in interdisciplinary field. Ask all these gentlemen who are at the helm of affairs and they have proven themselves in their field, or all of you for that matter, who are working in industry. There is hardly any subject which can be studied in isolation. If I am a marketing manager, I should also know about the basics of finance. contribution, how much my products are making. I must also know about the supply chain and logistics, without which I cannot make a holistic decision. And therefore, there are no watertight compartments in management or in any education for that matter. And that is why when I was watching that telefilm, I congratulated Mr. Naveen Mittal for all the initiatives that he had taken in the state of Telangana. They are really required. Okay. We have to give not just education, but a holistic education. We are not here just to grant degrees and create a literate, but we are here to make a better human being, a more civilized person, okay, who, as an individual, understands his social responsibility too. When I say this, I remember an example. Several years ago, an American professor had come with his family and he was staying with me at Calcutta. And then he wanted, they are all crazy after Taj Mahal. So we had gone to certain places. I almost had Bharat Darshan Yatra with him. Okay? We had gone to Taj Mahal. And his 5-year-old son was holding a piece of paper, the ticket that they had bought, okay, in his hand, looking out for dustbin, but he just did not throw it anywhere. For full 45 minutes, till we had the round of entire campus, he was just holding it in his hand. And then kept asking me, where is the dustbin? Where is the dustbin? And ultimately, when he saw the dustbin, he threw it out there. That 5-year-old son told me so many things. The education should start, the foundation start in the school. If you have traveled to the US, you would know how they disembark from the flight. It was a major learning for me. I am an Indian, born Indian, travel in Indian aircrafts all along. And you know what happens when the flight lands? We are all in a great hurry, as if there is a fire behind, and we have to get down at once of the aircraft. We just open the sachet, take the bags, and start running without caring for anyone in front. Am I exaggerating? Isn't that what we do? It was a learning for me. I was always in the middle seat by default, because for additional seat you have to pay extra, that in dollars, which my budget did not allow. So I had to accept the seat that was given, naturally in the end, rear, middle seat. So I had to wait. And what I saw was amazing. No chaos, no stampede. Till the front rows have not got up. And that too, first from the left, then from the right, and then the next row will get up. And easily they will move through the aisle. When are we going to learn all this? It's not our fault. This has to be taught in the school. When is our education going to take care of that? A basic civic sense. Just the other day, I was traveling to some place, and a person who was an industrialist, let me not name the industrialist, ate something, rolled down his window, threw it on the road, and we went off. I remember that 5-year-old kid. And here is a 55-year-old person. And he was talking about how clean the foreign cities are. Ethics, basic ethics. For several years, I taught in France. I used to give them quiz in the class. Class would be full. No special arrangement, because quiz used to be a surprise quiz. But not a single person would look and fill up. No. It's a test of my understanding, and I'll fill up. The only students who used to make noise and try here and there would be Asians, especially Indians and Pakistanis, not even other Asian countries. Okay? And then the local French students or other European students would grumble. I say, look into your paper, don't look here, don't cheat. I was surprised. Why? Why are we cheating in such basic things? What am I going to get by adding certain marks to me which I don't deserve? Civic sense, I told you about it earlier. I always like a book, and I make it mandatory to all my students to read that book. That book changed me also. There's a book by the title, We the People, by none other than late Mr. Nani Palkhiwala. Make your teenage son or daughter read that book and you will find a perceived difference in their behavior, in their attitude. Mr. Nani Palkhiwala speaks about the same thing. Actually, whatever I said, Mr. Nani Palkhiwala has referred to that in that book. Our education should take care of it. And my humble request, Mr. Mittal, is please do take care of these factors. These are basic things like civic sense, basic honesty, decency, courtesy, empathy should also be a part of our education. So thank you so much once again, and congratulations to you for a novel topic.
Thank you so much, sir, for that inspiring and the wonderful perspective that you have put forward. Next, to our speaker all the way from Himachal, Professor Prafulla Y Agnihotri, Director, IIM Sirmaur. A token of appreciation for our speaker for taking out time and joining us